Hi everyone, this is Sean, and today I want to talk about banned books. Banned books is such interesting topic to talk about. Whenever I think about banned books, I always think about controversial issues. And so today, the main focus will be controversial issues, but it related to banned books because banned books is definitely the best medium to bringing the controversial issue to the society. And so we want to talk about the controversial issue in those banned books and what are the benefits of accessing those banned books and what is the negative aspect of accessing those banned books. And so before we jump into the positive and negative aspect of banned books, I want to talk about what is the definition of banned books. And so by the definition of banned books, through an article which is from NPR.org, the article title is "What's a Banned Book Anyway? Depends on who you ask." And so it says, by the president of American Library Association, it says, a banned book is a removal of a title from the library because someone considered it harmful or dangerous. On the other hand, on the website Botanica, the book banning definition is the practice of prohibiting or restricting the reading of certain books by the general public or by members of a local communities or religious group. As you can see, that banned book is actually determined by groups of people or who you ask. And so, for example, if you asking me what is the banned books, I may using based on my past experiences or my religious belief to say what is or what are the banned books. But if you ask other people, or for example my classmates who have different backgrounds and religions, and they might have different answers than me. And so as we can see, that banned book, the definition of banned book can depending on who you ask. And so today we want to talk about, does reading controversial books encourage high school students to question authority and social expectations? And why we want to focus on high school students? Well, it's quite obvious because high school students are they have more understanding of what is meaning of banned books and controversial issues. For example, they are more mature enough that they're exposed to more diverse perspective growing up. And so compare high school students or even college students to, I guess, like elementary school or middle school. They are more aware of the controversial issue in nowadays. And so I think it's good to focus on college students or high school students. Now, I want to talk about the positive aspect of accessing the banned books. And you might think, wait a minute, why there's a positive aspect of accessing banned books? And if it's so good, if this is beneficial to students, why we should ban those books? Well, I'm gonna answer those questions, or even just provide some ideas from the article that I have read. So based on the article, Controversial Conversation in the ELA Classroom Using Banned Books to Enhance Reading. So in the article, it talks about that it helps students have deeper understanding of those topics, helping them have empathy, and also enhance their critical thinking skills. And so in this article, it kind of just stated that banned books actually a great way for students or teacher to talk about and to discuss about those controversial issues. And through reading those banned books, it helps us to have better sense of those controversial issues. Because oftentimes when you just talk about controversial issue, it's hard to imagine and discuss. But when we have books, when everyone read the same books, the same text that containing controversial issue, it helps students and teacher to have better idea of what are those controversial issues. The article addressed that actually banning books can help student and teacher to enhance their learning experiences. And in page 59 in this article, it addressed that banned books can be used to teach students lessons that are too controversial to be part of the standard English curriculum. The English classroom is a safe and appropriate setting for students to expose to difficult and real-life topics. In the second quote, it says, through reading banned books, teachers have the opportunity to have class discussions with students about safe ways to tackle these issues in real life. Students are also given the opportunity to learn through the experiences of the characters in the novel, hopefully putting them in a better position to make healthy and safe choices in their own lives. And so, as you can see, that the positive aspect of banning books is actually setting of helping us to have better sense of those controversial issues, and also encourage us to discuss those controversial issues in a very safe and healthy way. And so this is basically a positive aspect of accessing those banning books, help students enhance their learning experiences. Well, in contrast, the article My Young Mind Was Disturbed by a Book, It Changed My Life by the New York Times 29. And so in this article, it addressed some of the negative aspect of accessing banning books. Or in other words, if we ban books, what are the consequences? I think it's a better way to kind of describe the situation is that what if we really ban books? You know, what are the consequences when we ban books? You know, when we limit books for students to accessing those books. So the basically main idea of banning books, of negative aspect of banning books, are reading and you know, like, it's inseparable from our lives. Our lives is always thinking and always discussing, and accessing those books help us discuss. So banning books actually prevent us to learn more, prevent us to interact with those controversial issues. And so it discusses how banning book can result consequential problems such as thinking that challenge the dominant ideology and societal norms. And it also addressed that books are inseparable from ideas, and this is really what is at stake. The struggle over what a child, a reader, and the society are allowed to think, to know, and to question. A book can open doors and show the possibility of new experiences, even new identities and futures. And it also quotes, by banning books, we are also ban difficult dialogues and disagreements, which children are perfectly capable of having and which are crucial to a democracy. And so as you can see, that banning books actually has more problems, or more consequential problematic ways they compare when we accessing those banned books. Because it prevent us to accessing those information that might be helpful for us to think about specific topics. For example, when we talk about politics, certain books that are being banned by the government are actually against the governments. And so accessing those banned books actually can help us to think, or using a critical thinking or different perspective to approach the specific topics. So it actually helps us or trigger us to think outside of boxes. And so I think this is something that I have learned in the second article, which is talk about the negative aspect of accessing those banned books. Well, previously we discussed about the positive and negative aspect of banned books. But now I want to share about my personal experiences. I disagree to accessing those banned books. And there's three reasons. The first reason is that I believe banned books can misleading how we perceive specific topic. A lot of banned books are not just reality. A lot of banned books are not true or valid information. A lot of topics, information within those banned books are misleading, or something that is created by the author, or it just sort of like a philosophy instead of a reality. And so a lot of time I feel like for students, even high school students or college students, we may consider them mature enough to access those books, but oftentimes we have seen the weakness in human, the weakness of trusting things that is not true. And so I think when we accessing those banned books, we are expose ourselves in a dangerous situation where we potentially be leading to a wrong directions. And the second thing that I disagree is because we don't need to use those topics to have critical thinking skill. Why we need to accessing those banned books in order to have critical thinking skill? We can accessing those books that are not banned to discuss critical thinking skill. Critical thinking skill is just having a different perspective or opinion on a specific topic. But that not necessarily has to be banned books. It can be any books, and we can discuss on that specific topic using a different perspective, which also can train us to have better critical thinking skill. So I don't think having a banned books are the only way that we can enhance our critical thinking skill. The third thing I want to talk about is that accessing those banned books can leading to mental health issues and childhood trauma. Believe me or not, childhood trauma can also happen to adults. It can happen to high school students and college students. Even me, sometimes when I accessing or when I sell some things on internet that is so controversial, it also shocked me, and also I'm also traumatized after accessing those information. And so as we can see, that banned books can be dramatically influenced to our lives, and oftentimes can leading to a negative directions. In conclusion, as we talk about the positive and negative aspect of accessing those banned books, and I also share my personal views on should we ban books, and what are the positive and negative contributions to students' life that we discuss in this video. First, accessing to banned book can enhance learning. Second, accessing to banned book can encourage critical thinking. Third, personal view. I believe accessing those banned books can be harmful and may not leading to critical thinking, and potentially can cause childhood trauma. So I think different people have different opinions on banned books. Most people on internet or the article that I've read online are mostly agree not to ban books. But for me, as someone who comes from a totally different cultural backgrounds and totally different perspective, are disagree that we should accessing those banned books. And so there's no right and wrong answer, but I think both what people say in the article and also my personal experiences are very, very important for us to discuss. And I believe that this is also a critical thinking skill because, when we have different opinions and we open up the discussion, having conversation, or even just talk about these kinds of opinions, I think those are something that I think critical for us to learn and to challenge ourselves to better understand the topics and what are the ways that we can improve the society through talking about the controversial issue of banning books. Can controversial issues or controversial issued in banned books contribute or helping student learning to challenge authority or social expectation. And so thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you.